There's a review and recap of Season 5, Episode 7 of The Boys. Spoilers ahead. This was a long one, so we got a lot to go over. Starting off, it actually was pretty nice to see Marie and Jordan again. I was worried that their inclusion was going to feel forced, but I actually think they did a really good job with it. Seeing Marie and Jordan stand up to Starlight and even quote her from back all the way from Season 1 was actually really good to see, and I feel like that was good for their characters too. Even though we don't really see them again to the end of the episode, I feel like this was a very good inclusion. Now onto the Vault side of things, it was actually really interesting to see that Homelander would disband the Seven and cancel it. Just seeing the absolute horror in the Deep's face after hearing this, knowing now that he has nothing. No one's going to be there for him anymore. The Seven was all he had. You could see it in his face that he's truly full of despair. And it seems to haunt him throughout the rest of the episode. He truly has nothing left. Even the fish want nothing to do with him, saying that if he goes in the water, they're going to kill him. But we're going to come back to this in a little bit. And with Ashley now, it seems like she's fully going into her insane side. I'm really curious on where they're going to go with this. After arguing with herself for some time, she gets this disgusted look on her face. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with her in the last episode. Finally, we get to see Soldier Boy and Homelander talk again, and this was probably the biggest surprise of the episode for me. After Soldier Boy says he kind of wants nothing to do with Homelander and he wants to leave, Homelander doesn't take that too well. As he's choking Soldier Boy, you could kind of see it in his expressions that he either doesn't want to do this or just really wants Soldier Boy to love him and accept him, which Soldier Boy frankly just doesn't. The only reason he gave him the V1 was for Stormfront. You could even see it here. He's crying. He's upset. He even sheds some tears while he's doing it. Although this be a weird image, Soldier Boy didn't really put up that much of a fight, which I'm very surprised about, but we could talk about that another time. Although he didn't die, he was put back in that tank. I mean, geez, this is like the third time he's been in that thing. As Huey and Butcher are trying to find out some information on Father and what their whole plan is, they get captured. And it's here where we meet the Soup Synapse, one of the most dangerous psychics in the Boys universe. And it seems that he's a shapeshifter as well because he turns into Joe Kessler. He then begins to prance around talking about Butcher's backstory and just telling Huey and trying to basically scare Huey, telling him about Butcher's past and how he can't be trusted. But man, it was good to see Jeffrey D. Morgan again. I mean, his acting skills are just phenomenal, and he steals the show in this scene. He really does. While Butcher is absolutely just having this insane stare-off with him the entire time he's speaking, we really do get to learn a lot more about who Butcher was before Homelander, before the incident with Becca, just how he was in the war and what kind of person he really is. While he's in Butcher's mind, he's telling them the story of how the real Joe Kessler actually died. And how it was 100% Butcher's fault, and he could have pulled his men out of that battlefield, but he decided to stay, and unfortunately Butcher was the only one that left out alive. Since he has the power to read their minds, now he knows that their plan of them trying to poison Kimiko and giving her the same nuclear explosion that Soldier Boy has. While they're experimenting on Kimiko, Frenchie pulls her out and has a very, very nice heart-to-heart moment. He's basically telling Kimiko that he would love to start a family with her and move somewhere far away and get away from all this chaos, which he was supposed to do in a few episodes ago earlier in the season. It's nice to see him come full circle and realize that he would love to spend the rest of his life with Kimiko, away from all this terror and violence. Now with Mother's Milk and Starlight, we actually get a really nice heart-to-heart moment with the two of them. MM talks to her about how he got his name and how it started as an insult and how the kids where he used to live bullied him, and how he raised the little pigeon and brought it back to health, and that he wears the name Mother's Milk as an honor, and he loves that feeling of helping people. And really, this bumped his character up a lot for me. Like, this was really one of his best scenes, I think, debatably in the entire show. This was a really good scene, and it definitely motivated Starlight too. She was definitely in need of some motivation, and it worked. We see that Father is struggling to convert the rest of the people to believing that Homelander is their new god. Now, Homelander says just kill the rest of them, and there was a slight chance that he wasn't going to do it, where he thought about it, but in the end, he just listens to Homelander. It's then that they break off the doors and start attacking the people in the auditorium. Now, I can't show most of the fight, but they started slaughtering the people in this room. It was definitely gruesome. But then Starlight and MM bust those doors down. Gosh, and it was so good to see Starlight actually fighting again and using her powers. Her and MM were definitely putting in some work in this fight. A part I thought was good was when MM shot the water container. This one right here, and he poured the water on the cat girl to make her jump out of hiding. That was really good. And when he grabbed the rat, after struggling for some time, MM runs out of bullets, and he finds a rat that he picks up and he throws at the cat lady. This eventually distracts her long enough for MM to stab her in the back. I can't show that here, but yeah. And of course, MM fashion, he washes his hands directly afterwards. I apologize, I'm doing this one after because I forgot, but back to the Deep and the beach situation. While the Deep is sitting there, a man starts to drown at the beach. And the Deep is really hesitating saving him by jumping in that water because he knows if he goes in that water, those fish are going to attack him. All the people there are screaming, go, go, save him, save him. People get out their phones and they start recording. But at the end, Deep just stands there. He doesn't jump in, he doesn't save him. But I don't think that's the end of the scene. I think the scene is going to continue in the final episode because this was never finished. They just kind of cut after this. Now back with Huey and Butcher, this was a scene I really liked. Huey was using Synapse's own trauma to get in his own head so he would forget about Butcher. As you can see here, it's then Butcher proceeds to come out from behind and, I think you could imagine what happens here. I feel like here we see Butcher go into his full psychotic, like insane kind of headspace here. With him saying that he's going to enjoy this, but then again, he joins them all. I mean, ooh, that was so cold. But it was too late. Synapse had already told Homelander about their whole plan. Sage, Kimiko, and Frenchie, they only had 3 minutes. They couldn't even run. All they could do was hide. And Frenchie, being the smartest person he is, finds a zinc-like pillar here and cuts it open and puts Kimiko and Sage inside. He reassures Kimiko as she's still very distressed, but it's here we get one of the most insane scenes that has been in The Boys in a long time. You hear as the beeping gets louder and Frenchie's terrified, and then Homelander arrives. Even Sage looks terrified. We get the slow motion shot with no music, just the sounds of Homelander walking up the steps. And as he's looking around the school, he eventually finds the pillar they're hiding in. He can't see the inside because it's made of zinc, but he sees the pillar. And then it's here that Frenchie does one of the coolest things I've seen. He uses his finger and he just slightly taps on the wall. And then in the blink of an eye, boom, Homelander just pops up right there. Frenchie then leads him into the room where they were experimenting on Kimiko and does one final fuck you before opening the chambers. As you can see, this hurts Homelander and Frenchie, with Frenchie standing there laughing, saying, I bet you've never danced in your life. This really reminded me of the scene with A-Train at the beginning of the season, that they're not scared of Homelander. They're looking at him dead in the eye and realizing the fraud that he is. But in the end, it's too late. As Kimiko rushes out, she sees this trail of blood. It's there she finds Frenchie lying there waiting for her. They have this really good heart-to-heart scene where she says, why did you save me? And then Frenchie says, no, you saved me. And they share this one final kiss. And then the rest of the boys get there, but it's too late. Frenchie has passed away. Overall, this episode was a very high jump in quality from the rest of the season. It's just really sad to see Frenchie go, even though I called it in the video I posted yesterday, but it's still always sad to see him go, and I think I wouldn't have changed his death. I think it was a very perfect, fitting death. Just the tone, everything about it was perfect. And with only one episode left, I'm very curious to see what happens next. But overall, I give this episode a solid 8 out of 10.